other channels. Hopefully it's behaving now. Anyways, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mom Bear, coming to you live from Central Florida on holiday stress, headaches, and happiness. Holiday stress, headaches, and happiness. Let me know if you guys are on. Hi, Emily. Nice to have you. So let me know if you're on with me. You can hear me okay, where you're coming from. And so, oh my goodness, these last couple years, I have handled patients with so much stress. Hi, Desiree. Happy birthday to Dylan. Hi, Amanda. So much stress, right? So, hey, Jessica. Thanks for the Christmas card. So much stress, like so much stress. And unfortunately, during the holidays, when it should be a joyous time, a grateful time, a family time, tell me what else we should be doing during the holidays, a stressless time. Hi, Tina. For a lot of people, their stress levels are out of control, like super, super, super high. And I understand because they're stressed with family. So I have some patients, they're stressed out because their family wants them to have certain experiments and they don't want to have experiments and they're making them wrong for not having the experiments. I'm like, aren't we over this by now? Right? Like, aren't we like way over it with all the side effects and the people keeling over dead and the different professionals that have come out and said that this experiment has problems, but there's still some families that are still saying, hey, if you don't have these experiments, then we don't want you to come. That's so last like 2 years ago. And so incorrect data, not cool. So there's the family stress. More patients than ever before have lost family members the last 2 years. Hey, Liz. Hey, Mary. So there's people that are celebrating holidays without their significant others, without their family members, without cousins, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, and it's just extremely hard. Hey, Robin. Hi, Jonathan. There are people that stress out every holiday because they're yes people, so they say yes to the holiday party, yes to the work party, yes to the holiday pageant, yes to this thing, yes to that thing, that they're overextending themselves, right? And so it is okay to say no. If you were invited to 5 holiday parties on one day, it is okay to pick the one that you really want to go to and say thank you for inviting me, but unfortunately, I already have plans. You don't have to jump to house to house to house. Those of you that are married, it gets awkward in the holidays because what do? So especially if there's multiple, so like for me, my parents are in town, which makes it pretty easy for us. But then Jason has his dad is in Maryland and his mom is in New York. And so if we were to be in New York and if we didn't visit other families, they would be offended. If we were in Maryland and we didn't visit other families, they'd be offended. And I totally understand because if you're in an area, it's nice to see family, but it could be tough if there's multiple pieces of this equation, right? So just keep in mind, if you have split families or if you have challenges, I don't know how to describe it, but like if there's layers to your family, I guess that's a good way of saying that. Just know the expectations you put on people can be a little bit much. So I love what my sister and I do. So if she comes for Thanksgiving one year, then she flip-flops with her husband's side. So like last year she came for Christmas, and then this year she's spending Christmas with his side. We totally understand. I'm sure it's hard on my parents, but we totally understand, right? And it's really fair. And then you're not like, okay, let's spend part of the time in Florida and part of the time in North Carolina. It's easier. So you guys can let me know, what are your solutions for splitting up family time to making it fair? I know that some families will celebrate, Christmas early. like one weekend, and then maybe they'll celebrate like New Year's with another part of the family. Tina says, I like just having family over to enjoy time catching up, food and making memories, no presents. So our family decided that when my kid and my sister's kids were a certain age, we wouldn't buy presents for the adults of this, because it got complicated. In the office, we do either Secret Santa or we do White Elephant. And so this year we did White Elephant, which was super fun. That's when everybody brings one gift. So it's not awkward, right? They bring one gift worth around 20 bucks. And it's usually something you would like yourself. So my White Elephant gift was fuzzy socks, because who doesn't like fuzzy socks? Fuzzy socks, a handheld massager, fuzzy socks, handheld massager, one of Robin's awesome holiday essential oil spice blends, a little pack of thank you cards, and something else. I don't remember what else. Something else was in there. And it was something I would want. Oh, a crystal bracelet, one of the crystal bracelets that we carry at the office, a pink one. So I was like, I would want it. It's like spa in a bucket, right? Cozy socks, essential oils, crystal bracelet, gel, those eye gel bead packs where you freeze them and you can put it on your eyes. So I was like, hey, what would I want? That sounds good. That sounds relaxing, right? Hey, Beth. So whatever you can do to de-stress. I remember being a new mom and thinking, oh my gosh, is this enough for Christmas? Did I get enough of toys versus clothes versus this versus that? And it's just like Leah was a baby. She didn't care. She didn't even remember, right? I was talking to a patient today. She's supposed to fly out and see her granddaughter who's 7 months old, but the patient got sick. And so she was really, really upset that she wasn't going to be able to see her granddaughter for her first Christmas. And I go, hey, I don't mean to be a jerk. And you guys can let me know if this was a jerk line. But I said, hey, your granddaughter at 7 months old won't even remember if you were there or not there. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but you don't feel good. You have a fever, you have a cough. In Orlando Airport, they're talking about if you're going to fly out to be there 3 hours before. So I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in Charlotte. And for us to make our flight in Charlotte, we had to be there 2 hours before because the security lines are so long and the airports are so packed and everything's backed up. So now around the holidays, they're saying, hey, be there 3 hours before. So I couldn't imagine this patient has a fever, has a cough, doesn't feel good, is low energy, wants to sleep, and then she was going to try to fly out tomorrow. I'm like, I think that's a horrible idea. Plus, most people, if you're not feeling well, don't want you around a 7-month-old baby. So she decided to stay. She felt bad about it. And I said, look, baby's 7 months old. Don't mean to be a butthead, but the baby's not going to remember. There's some things I thought that I did with Leah when she was 5. I'm like, wasn't this really fun? And she's like, I don't even remember that. I'm like, but you were 5. So just keep in mind, like do the best you can, celebrate the season, however you're going to celebrate, whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever you're celebrating. But remember the purpose of the season. And remember, it's about the family and the love and the positive attitudes, not the stress and the finances and is there enough presents and whatever. So Veronica's saying we play board games and watch movies most of the day. That's awesome, Veronica. One of our traditions is we like to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. So we just think that's super funny movie. It's my husband's favorite Christmas movie. Robin likes the spa in a bucket idea. So yeah, Robin, we went to the dollar store and got a container, which was basically a bucket, and filled it with stuff. And then essential oils and the eye gel pack and that. So, if you're looking for last minute holiday ideas, that's something that you can do. But the whole thing is, I don't want you guys to stress. So many patients this week are really, really stressed out. And I feel bad as a practitioner saying, don't stress out, right? Because no one wants to stress out. So look at what may be causing the stress. Is it you're overextended? Is that you have family in town, and it's not the family in town that stresses you out, it's the pressure of wanting everything to be perfect. Guys, it's not going to be perfect. If you're planning a wedding, it's not going to be perfect. If you're planning Christmas, it's not going to be perfect. If you're one year, poor Jason was cooking steaks, and I don't know what the heck happened. I guess they were fatty, and he came inside for something, and he went back outside, and the flames are super high, and the steaks look like charred frogs, right? And so luckily I had made enough other food that it was okay. So we kind of laughed that he had charred steak frogs. And nobody, of course, ate that because they were awful. So please, please, please don't stress. Jessica's mentioning the vaccine shedding. Vaccine shedding lately has been really, really bad. We've been seeing people with headaches. That goes into my next topic. People with headaches, people with fevers, people with congestion, people with coughs, some lung issues again with wheezing, really bad fatigue, sadness seems to be linked to this. And so, what do I tell you about it? Look for what boosts your immune system. So, stress decreases the immune system, sugar decreases the immune system, alcohol decreases the immune system. And so the hard part is this time of year brings stress for people because of their viewpoints, because of they miss people, because they want things to be perfect. And then it tends to bring more sugar. And then I was just talking to a practitioner friend, and she's like, "Yeah, and then holiday parties, people want to drink, you know." So we had a staff holiday party. Maybe you guys will think it's lame. I told her, I go, we never drink in staff holiday parties, probably because I have them at lunchtime during the day while we're working, and so it's not a thing, right? It's not a thing. I don't want to feed my employees alcohol. One, because they're working still and you don't want to be drinking on your shift. That's against our company policy. And two, it lowers the immune system. So some of you guys might think I'm a lame boss or a lame owner, but yeah, we don't do that. So with the shedding, there's two products that we like that seem to be helping. One is called Cardio Miracle, and it's supposed to help with the COVID spike proteins that come off shedders. And the other one's called More Than Cardio. You can find that on Brave TV, and that also is supposed to help with the spike proteins. In the office, we're using products like VacCord. That's supposed to help with chemicals and metals that are found in vaccinations. I love what's tested very, very well for a couple of years now is Para 3. So Para 3 tests well. Let me see if I can get away with this doing a little dropper of Para 3. So those of you that have never taken Para 3, it is green. So some of you guys know it is green. It is potent. Whew. Last time I took Para 3, I needed water. Jessica's like, don't do it. Don't worry, Jessica. I have water this time. And so Para 3, and Lisa says it's horrible. Para 3 has thyme leaf, sage leaf, tansy stem leaf and flower, episode leaf, black walnut hull, holy basil leaf, and clove bud. So it's pretty potent stuff. So if I feel that my immune system needs some extra help, I'll take a shot of Para 3. ISBAB, so the IS on this stands for immune system. ISBAB has sweet anti-plant, wormwood, black walnut hulls, pau de arco, astragalus, Japanese knotweed, teasel root, white willow bark, bone set, devil's claw. Doesn't that sound like a witch's formula? Milk thistle, coleus, and red root, and yellow dock root. So what do you think tastes worse, BAB or Para 3? I haven't had BAB in a little bit. Definitely Para 3 stronger. So BAB has a herby taste. And so there's different herbs that can help boost your immune system. And so if you work with us, if you're a patient with us at Palmer Natural Health, you can talk to your practitioner and see what would be good to add to your program. If you don't work with us, you can totally work with us. We have a holiday special. It's $144, and that's for 2 visits. So the first visit is the consult. We're gathering all your family history, your dental history, your if you're female and you've had pregnancies, we talk about that. If you're menstruating female, we talk about that. Medications that you've been on, surgeries you've had, any complaints, any symptoms that you have, because symptoms are not normal, right? So we're checking all those things. And then we take that data and we do the quantum nutrition testing on the data. And what that enables us to determine is what areas of the body are imbalanced, what areas of the body are having issues. And then we don't just say, hey, you're screwed up, have a nice day. We look for the causes. And so with the causes, we're looking for if someone's having an issue with certain foods, if someone's having an issue with chemical toxicities, like chemicals in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, heavy metal toxicities that could also be radioactive metals in our water supply. It could be metals in our environment. It could be metals that were put into the body through different experiments. We'll say it like that. We're looking for immune challenges. We're looking to see why the body has symptoms, why the body is not functioning optimally. Oftentimes I'll have patients say, oh, well, Dr. Palmer, I'm healthy. And then they have a list of like 20 things that are not optimal. I'm like, okay, well, what is your definition of health? Is your definition of health you're not in a hospital or having surgery? Because to me, that's not healthy, right? Like, what is your definition of health? My definition of health is 100% of your organs and 100% of your glands are functioning at optimal levels. Now, if you're missing a gallbladder or an appendix or a thyroid or your ovaries or your uterus or your kidney or a piece of you have been removed, you will never be 100% healthy again. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm not saying that in a nasty way. I'm saying, hey, you're missing parts you're supposed to have, right? It is amazing to me that a body can function missing parts. Think about it. With your car, if you remove parts from the engine, it's not going to function properly, but somehow our human bodies can still function missing parts. That's crazy to me, right? And so what we want to do is with whatever organs and glands you do have, we want to make sure that they're free of chemical toxicities, free of metal toxicities, free of any type of unwanted bugs, that they're functioning properly. And anything that's not balanced, we help the body balance, not through medications with side effects, which will never balance the body, but rather with whole food supplementation, herbs, homeopathy, and carbon technology. So Donna says, wow, that sucks. I had hysterectomy at age 23. Yeah, Donna, that does suck. Because instead of finding the cause of why maybe you had really bad periods, or you had really bad endometriosis, or where you had really bad bleeding or clotting or whatever, instead of someone telling you, hey, Donna, this is why you're having these symptoms, instead they said, hey, you know, you're not going to have any more babies, or maybe you don't want babies because you're 23, and babies at 23 just doesn't sound like a fun idea. In my 20s, I'm like, I don't want to have babies. Like, I was busy working with professional athletes. I wasn't thinking about taking care of a baby that was peeing, pooping, and crying. Like, that wasn't real to me. Now in my 30s, when I met the man of my dreams, then I was like, yeah, I want to have a family with this guy. And so, yeah, you're missing ovaries, you're missing a uterus. What we find in women that have hysterectomies is the bladder falls down and actually prolapses, meaning the bladder comes out the vagina, and they have to take the bladder and tack it back up into somewhere in your pelvic wall so it stays up. That's awful because it pulled organs out, right? Your hormones are negatively affected because you lost your ovaries. And isn't it dumb how we say you lost them? Like you misplaced your glasses that are sitting on your head. You didn't lose them. Somebody cut them out of you. So Donna's saying endometriosis and ruptured ovary. Ashley Hart is your daughter. Okay, got it. So Ashley is amazing, by the way. So endometriosis, yeah. So what causes endometriosis? Endometriosis has a cause. It's the irritation of the endometrium, the lining of the uterus. And so typically what happens is it continues to grow and grow, and then you have heavy, horrible periods. And then you probably had cysts on your ovary, and then that's why it ruptured. And it probably hurt like hell. And so they didn't know what to do with you. So they said, okay, well, let's take these out because these are a problem. So yes, endometriosis super sucks, super sucks. And so when you look at the appendix, that's another gland or organ, depending on how you look at it, that is removed a lot. So the appendix gets infected. Well, what causes it to be infected? There's a cause to that. And it ruptures or it goes necrotic, meaning it dies. What killed the appendix? Oftentimes, parasites like to get into that. That's part of the colon. They like to get into that part of the system. Why? Parasites tend to like tight, like cozy spaces for some reasons. That's why they like to be in breasts. They like to be in testicles. They like to live in your lungs. They like to live in your brain. They like to live in your gallbladder. And so the appendix gets irritated by bugs. So instead of handling the parasites, that appendix can get irritated. It can have appendicitis, which is an inflammation of the appendix. Well, no one ever told you what inflamed it, right? Then you start having pain. Then the appendix can die or rupture, and then it becomes a medical emergency and they want to cut that out. But did they ever tell you what was in it? I have never seen a pathology report of a ruptured appendix. I want to know what happened to that appendix. And no one ever, in 15 years of practice in Florida, no one ever has told me, hey, the pathology report came back. They say comes back as an infection, but no one's ever told me why. When I was in chiropractic school, my father had a lot of pain, like severe pain. And looking back now, knowing more about his working on him as one of his practitioners, I know my dad likes to make kidney stones. So there are some people that believe anybody who likes to make stones is holding on to something, right? They won't let something go. And so, with my father looking back, he probably was having a kidney stone issue. And the pain was so severe, the pain could be like childbirth or worse than childbirth, right? So, the pain was so severe that my mother took him to the hospital. The hospital where the pain was located thought he had appendicitis. And my dad was in so much pain. He's like, I don't care what you do to me. You can cut me open, you can take things out, just fix the pain. And so it is crazy. There are some states in the United States that if someone has pain in their abdomen and they open up the abdomen, they take the appendix out, whether the appendix is infected or not. Isn't that crazy? So your appendix actually has immune system function. And so when you remove the appendix, you're losing part of your immune system. And so in some states, if you open up the abdomen or the abdominal cavity and there is an issue and there's pain, they will remove the appendix. So hearing about this was very upsetting to me when I was in chiropractic school. So I told my father, who was a hospital administrator at the time, I said, get your chart records. I want to know, they took your appendix out. I want to know what they found in your appendix. I am extremely curious. And oh, by the way, what were you doing before you had appendix problems? He was eating popcorn. My father loves popcorn. So he would be known to sit on the couch after work, blow up a bag of microwave popcorn, which is horrible for you, by the way. The oils in microwave popcorn are horrible. Microwaves are not good because of the radiation effects. So, anyways, he would pop these microwave popcorn and sit on the couch and eat popcorn. Well, popcorn is very aggravating to the colon. And so it is possible that the appendix or the abdomen, the intestines got aggravated from popcorn. Popcorn's aggravating to the digestive system. Popcorn really doesn't have nutritional value. I hear you. I love popcorn. I'm not dissing the popcorn, but I'm just saying it's really not a great food for you. So the night before, he was eating a whole bunch of popcorn, and knowing my dad, he probably ate a whole bag by himself because that's what he did back then. And so it is a possibility that he irritated his colon with the popcorn and inflamed it. And then horrible bad timing, he had a kidney stone. So the kidney stone was going down the ureter, causing pain. He had excruciating pain. They couldn't find the pains because there's different types of kidney stones. There's ones with calcification, which you can see on imaging, and ones with no calcification, which you cannot see on imaging. And long story short, the pain was excruciating. He didn't care what happened to him. He just wanted it to go away. They opened him up, gave him a whole bunch of pain pills and pain medication, and probably a pain morphine and an IV. He felt better, but they took his appendix out. So I'm like, Dad, I want the records. I want to see what happened to your appendix. And guess what the hospital said? And by the way, my dad worked at this hospital and knew the docs. The hospital somehow lost the records. The records could not be reproduced. So if you take an organ out and it's infected, typically that organ will go to pathology, and pathology will test it to see what the heck happened to it. And so that happened. As soon as I found out, I said, Dad, request your records, go down there since you work there. You know the docs, talk to them, and magically the records disappeared. And to this day, we don't know what happened. Isn't that interesting? Now, at some point, someone leaked that someone he knew said that there was no infection. So the appendix was removed, but there was no infection, but they took it out anyways, but then the records disappeared. Unsolved mystery, right? All right. So holiday stress. So my whole point with the holiday stress is whatever you're stressing about. You guys can tell me what you're stressing about. Um, is it holiday shopping? Is it having people over? Is it having family over? Is it having too much on your plate? Like, what is it that stresses everybody out? So, to me, it's just trying to remember everything. So, what I do is I actually write down what I need to do and what day I need to do it. So, my parents' anniversary is on Christmas Day. And so my mom asked, "Hey, will you cook for me?" I'm like, "Absolutely." I was planning on doing that, but I'm like, "Okay, well, Christmas Day is Sunday, and then I have to make sure I have all the shopping done because it's probably going to be stores are probably going to be closed Christmas Day, right? So I have to make sure I have the shopping done. And then are they going to be open on Christmas Eve? And then I'm going to have all the ingredients. And so I was like, okay, well, let me ahead of time get whatever I can get that's not perishable ahead of time. So that way on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or the Friday before, I'm not one of those crazy people running around. Shopping wise, I start shopping for Leah early. On Black Friday, I start shopping not because I'm looking for the sales, but just because it's a good day to order stuff. And then I actually hire someone to help me wrap presents because I hate wrapping presents. So some of you guys are like present experts. I have patients that make their own bows and they're like super good with that. I don't like doing that. It stresses me out to wrap presents. I'm not good at it. My presents look like some kid did it. And so I actually hire someone to help me wrap presents. She does it amazingly well. She's happy because she makes extra bucks. I'm happy because I don't have to wrap presents. So whatever you can do to have someone help you with stress. And then with the headaches, is the headache a tension headache? So a tension headache goes across the forehead and is because you're all stressed out. Ladies, if your shoulders are up like this, look in the mirror. If they're up like this, drop your shoulders down, right? Jessica's saying she is wrapped, her presents are wrapped and ready to roll. Well done. So if it's a tension headache, what can you do? Drop your shoulders, sit back in your chair. You can hang your head backwards and try to get some the muscles in your neck to loosen up. Maybe you have a handheld massager and you can massage. Maybe your significant other will give you a massage. Maybe it's time for a bubble bath. What can you do to decrease stress? If it's a tension headache, you need to reduce the tension. If it is a headache because of sinuses, then perhaps we can use quantum nutrition testing to see what's aggravating the sinuses, what can rebalance the body. If it's due to shedding, oh my gosh, what a mess. We would want to test with quantum nutrition testing to figure out what the heck happened to you and what is the cause of the headache. Is it from the sinuses? Is it from barometric pressure changes? Is it from I'm laughing. My dog is at the door. Is it from uh, problems with the jaw? Is it from congestion in the ears? What is the cause of the headache, right? And then, if you're reducing your stress and you don't have headaches or you feel good, you're happy, right? You're happy. So, to me, the end of the year is a really good time to reflect on what you accomplished, right? So I told my husband at dinner today, I said, "Hey, honey, we're gonna set a time. So probably on Christmas Eve, we're gonna set a time and we're gonna look at all the cool things that we accomplished this year. Because we've been both running, and helping. And I started the Quantum Nutrition Academy, Palm Rancho Health. We've been hiring associates. We hired an awesome new manager. So we're going to be looking, he has Brave TV. And so he's been speaking at the Reawaken America tour. He was just out of town and it's hard to keep track of him now. He was just in Arizona. And so, it's good to reflect on the things that you've accomplished and then set your goals for 2023. So, Leah, your kids learn from you. And so when we do stuff like this, like what we have accomplished is we'll get a notebook, something that looks like this, right? We'll get a notebook and we'll all write down what we've accomplished. And then we'll write down what we're going to accomplish in 2023. And I think it's super fun to look back to see what goals. I love to write them down in notebooks, and I keep the notebooks and I'll rewrite the goals throughout the year. But I love to look at the one that we did in late December, early January to see all the things we've accomplished. And so to me, that helps to reduce my stress levels. It makes me happy because I feel like I'm living my purpose. I feel like I'm serving my community. I feel like I'm serving other communities. I feel like I'm serving different countries. I feel like I'm helping people. And so to me, it makes me really happy to hear that my quantum nutrition testing students are helping. So I was just in the academy. We have an online academy, and on Tuesday nights we do a academy community group, but also clinical coaching. And so one of my students is working with a child on the spectrum, and that child is now looking at people in the eye. That's a huge win. So to hear the students winning is makes me very happy, makes me very feel accomplished, makes me feel proud of them, right? That I was able to coach them and help them learn a new skill set. So Jessica's saying, honestly, can't imagine where I'd be health wise if I didn't find you and start working with you in January. Yeah. So happy almost anniversary, Jessica. Um, and so look at that. Take some time to reflect. Turn off the TV. You've already watched all the Christmas movies. You already watched the holiday movies. Those of you that like the Hallmark Channel, I don't know how you watch that. Those movies are like the same story over and over again. But yeah, turn off the movie that you've seen a million times, but not Christmas Vacation because that one's really good. And reflect, right? Reflect on what did you guys achieve as a family? What did you guys achieve this year? What do you want to achieve next year, and how are you going to get there? So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. I wish all of you guys a very Merry Christmas. I wish all of you guys a happy Hanukkah. To my British patients, and I think Australia says this as well. Happy Christmas. They don't say Merry Christmas. They say Happy Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. I wish you all the best with your friends, with your family. And I hope that this information helps. If you find that it's helpful, feel free to share it with a friend that's stressed out about the holidays. Feel free to share it with a family member that is stressed out or has headaches or is sad. And hopefully it helps them too. Good night, everyone. Merry Christmas. God bless you as well, Donna. Take care now. Bye bye.